Hey everybody, it's Scott from Extreme Performance Training Systems in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to this week's episode of Strength and Health TV. This week I want to talk about a unique way we've been programming in some kettlebell conditioning here at my training center with myself and some of the athletes and lifters I've been working with. One of the things that we've found to be very beneficial with our kettlebell conditioning for general physical preparedness is to incorporate many of the kettlebell drills that we use into our belt squat machine. Now, the belt squat machine by itself is a fantastic way to squat because you can squat without loading the spine with a bar on your back. So if you've got a back injury or you can't hold a barbell on your back, the belt squat's a way that you can get a huge amount of training on your legs. By the nature of the way that you wear the belt in the machine, the belt's hanging onto your hips, on your pelvic bone. It actually tractions out your lumbar spine. So it's actually, in a way, therapeutic on the back, while allowing you to train your legs. So just doing squats in the belt squat is a fantastic way to train. But there are many other exercises that we've been able to do in it, and I thank Louie Simmons at Westside Barbell for showing me this when I made a visit there almost 2 years ago. It really convinced me of the value and the benefits of the belt squat machine. So one of the things we've been doing deadlifts in it, walking in it is a great way to condition, and we've incorporated a lot of the kettlebell exercises that we do for GPP or general physical preparedness, and seeing a huge impact on the training effect just because you're wearing the belt squat belt around your hips. When you're swinging kettlebells or deadlifting kettlebells or cleaning kettlebells, you're getting extra work in your hips, and it really focuses on your hip drive. One of the things, in fact, just today I had one of the athletes I train, really high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor, Chris. He's a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and he's getting ready for a super fight here in about a week. We've been doing a lot of work in the belt squat, and he walked for 7 minutes in it at the end of his workout today, where we had an amount of weight on the machine plus a band wrapped around the weight carriage. And for 7 minutes, he would either walk or do a variety of exercises. We would throw medicine balls, he would carry heavy medicine balls, he would do some sandbag drills, or he would just walk. And it's been a huge impact on his conditioning from building up his hips as well as specific energy systems that he uses for his sport. So we've been finding tons and tons of applications for this with many of our athletes. But getting back to the kettlebell conditioning, I found that by doing my kettlebell drills in the belt squat, not only is it a lot harder because you can control the weight hanging on your hips, and if you use a lot of weight, you're going to gas out pretty quick, but it really builds your hip drive because as you're swinging kettlebells, because you've got the belt in the machine attached to your hips, as you drive your hips through, you're doing so against another load. So you're not just lifting the kettlebells, but you're pulling the load that's on the machine with your hips, which I found to make this a huge benefit when we're doing kettlebell conditioning for general physical preparedness. So what I want to do is just demo some of the exercises. Mainly the exercises that I've been getting a lot of benefit with are just doing things like sumo deadlifts with a pair of kettlebells, swings with the kettlebells, cleans with the kettlebells, clean and presses if I want to get a little bit of upper body work. And generally what I do is about once or twice a week as an auxiliary workout or an extra workout or a conditioning workout, whatever you want to call it, I'll do 1 or 2 kettlebell workouts along with some more specific upper and lower body work, usually with bands and things like that. So these kettlebell drills have made a fantastic full body extra workout. I usually go a little bit light with the kettlebells. I've been working the 16 kilo bells, and I usually put somewhere around 135 pounds to 185 pounds on the belt squat machine, or sometimes I'll go a little bit lighter and I'll use more band tension. You can add band tension to the machine very easily by wrapping it on one of the plate pegs on the carriage that the weight sits on, wrapping it under the frame and then up and over the other side so you get some band resistance as well. So sometimes I'll go a little bit lighter and put some bands on. I just try to vary the resistance that I use because this is just an extra workout in addition to my main workout. So I'm not trying to run myself into the ground with these workouts. I'm just trying to get a little bit of extra conditioning work, a little GPP, and hit some weak points as well. So had a lot of fun working these drills into my workouts lately, and I just wanted to go ahead and share them on my video blog so you guys could check them out. And if you have access to a belt squat, I suggest that you try some of these exercises and just experiment and just really kind of think outside the box a little bit with your own training on how you can implement the belt squat into yours. So in upcoming videos, I'll definitely show some of the other exercises that we've been working on the belt squat. If you follow Westside Barbell online, which I highly recommend you do, you'll find a ton of work that they're doing in the belt squat, particularly with the fighters that they work with up there, as well as their powerlifters and athletes. It's a great resource. I can't recommend it enough. And hopefully you'll enjoy some of these exercises, and if you got access to a belt squat, you'll be able to try them out for yourself. And let's go ahead and get to it. So Like I said, the belt sits on your hips, and then you just clip in. I'm going to take the pin out so I get my range of motion. And basically I'm just going to go through about 4 or 5 of the exercises that I like. I'll probably start with some kettlebell deadlifts, some swings. I always use 2 kettlebells on these. You can certainly use 1 if you want. Just be careful not to clip the cable of the machine when you're doing it, so no 2-handed swings on 1 bell, but you could do double kettlebell swings, double kettlebell cleans, or single kettlebell cleans. You could do snatches, you could do clean and presses. So those are mainly the drills that I work and some of my favorite ones for conditioning. So I'm just probably going to knock out a couple reps of each just so you can see the application, but pay attention to how my hips are activating or I'm driving a lot harder with my hips because I've got the belt squat attached to it. So this is where the benefit in using this machine lies. As I'm swinging or deadlifting or cleaning the kettlebells, I've got to pull against the weight that's on the machine. So this is really building up hip strength and drive. So I usually start out with some deadlifts with the kettlebells. Usually like to go with a wider stance. Again, you got to drive your hips through against the weight of the belt squat. And then some double swings and cleans are a great exercise to work. Again, driving against the resistance of the belt squat machine. Then we can do some double half snatches, which is one of my favorite ones. So you snatch the weight up, drop it to the chest, and re-snatch. And then some clean and presses, just to get a little bit of upper body work as well. So like I said, those are just some of the ways that I've been using the belt squat to enhance our kettlebell GPP work here. Again, that's about 4 or 5 drills that I like to do with the machine. So hopefully this has stimulated some ideas that you can implement into your training. And like I said, if you've got access to a belt squat machine, it's one of the best exercises that we've added for strength, power, and conditioning. So hopefully you enjoyed this week's video. If you've got any questions or comments or suggestions on future episode topics, leave them in the comments section below. And as always, stay strong and stay healthy.